Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're unpacking exactly how entrepreneurs and organizations can take idle, degraded forest land and transform it into highly valuable compliance assets under the newly revised 2025 Green Credit Program. If you've been searching for a systematic, totally verifiable way to hit those corporate environmental obligations while making a real ecological impact, well, you're definitely in the right place. To give you an idea of the massive scale of this financial and environmental opportunity, let's look at Gujarat for a second. The state just set a massive target to cover 25,000 hectares under this exact program over the next 5 years. That's a huge amount of land. And remember, that's just one state. Public sector units and leading corporations are already identifying thousands of hectares all across India. So yeah, this isn't some small pilot project. We're looking at a nationwide shift in how we actually handle ecological restoration.
Okay, let's quickly map out our roadmap for today. We'll start with the green credit opportunity itself, then dive into the 2025 methodology update, navigate the geospatial baseline, walk through the step-by-step portal registration, and finally wrap up with maintenance and credit issuance.
Section 1. The Green Credit Opportunity. Let's start with the absolute most important question for corporate leaders and project managers. Why does this complex registration process actually matter to your bottom line and, your regulatory standing?
Now, what's genuinely fascinating about the Green Credit Program is that it isn't set up as a tradable financial market. It's actually a direct, government-backed compliance solution. So unlike traditional carbon credits that you see being traded globally on open markets, these green credits are specifically built to be a non-tradable asset. Think of them as an exact, measurable reward for positive environmental outcomes, basically designed to solve some very specific regulatory headaches for Indian entities.
And while they aren't tradable, they hold massive internal value for your company. These credits act as this incredibly powerful tool that you can exchange once to meet your critical legal obligations. Let's say you need to fulfill compensatory afforestation under the 1980 Act. Boom! You can use these credits. Or maybe you're trying to hit mandatory CSR targets or boost those ESG reporting indicators. These apply directly. You can even use them for project-linked infrastructure plantation obligations. And the best part is, once a credit is used, it's immediately extinguished. That completely eliminates any risk of double counting in the system.
Moving on to Section 2, the 2025 Methodology Update. Let's see how all of this builds into the newly revised August 2025 methodology, which, quite honestly, completely changes the rules of the game for eco-restoration in India. This really highlights the government's massive pivot here. In the past, success was often just judged by simply counting planted saplings. You'd plant a tree, snap a quick photo, and basically call it a day. Well, the 2025 rules totally abolish that. Now, the government is demanding genuine, long-term ecological restoration. You don't get a single credit until you can actually prove a 5-year survival rate and a minimum 40% canopy density on that restored land. It's a huge shift from just planting trees to actually growing a real forest.
So the crucial point to remember is the super strict 2025 formula. One successfully grown tree surviving beyond 5 years on registered land generates exactly 1 green credit. It is literally a 1-to-1 ratio, a tangible, living environmental impact turning into a compliance asset. This makes absolutely sure that the credits your company reports are backed by undeniably real, scientifically verified ecological progress.
All right, Section 3, Navigating the Geospatial Baseline. Having established the massive value of these assets and the strict new rules, we really need to tackle the technical hurdles required to even qualify a piece of degraded land in the first place.
The Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, or ICFRE, acts as the administrator for this entire program. Basically, they're the gatekeepers. To ensure that credits are only ever issued for genuine restoration, the ICFRE demands flawless, centralized data mapping for these degraded forest lands, and this all has to happen before a single shovel even hits the dirt. To satisfy their really tight regulatory standards, your divisional nodal officer, your DNO, has to identify a specific type of degraded land. We're talking open forest, scrubland, or wasteland. And it has to be a compact area of at least 5 hectares, totally free from all encumbrances. But it doesn't just stop at the physical boundaries. The DNO must meticulously document the baseline ecological state. They're looking at existing canopy density, forest type, soil condition, prevailing flora and fauna, terrain slope, and even the geological and hydrological conditions. They do this to guarantee you're actually starting with genuinely degraded land, rather than just clearing healthy vegetation so you can plant new trees.
Now,
as a green credit applicant, this is where you really need to pay close attention. A massive number of land registration attempts fail right here simply due to poor geospatial alignment. You have got to avoid these common pitfalls. If your reported area size doesn't perfectly match your digital.kml file, you'll be rejected. If that KML file contains weird non-polygon shapes instead of a single clean polygon, or say it maps out to 4.9 hectares instead of the required 5, you're out. And crucially, uploading non-geotagged photos, or worse, photos that accidentally show dense existing vegetation, that will absolutely kill your application instantly. Accuracy here is literally everything.
Section 4. Step-by-step portal registration. Okay, now that we know what pitfalls to avoid, let's systematically walk through the exact IT-based solution provided by the official online portal to get your land properly registered.
This strict digital blueprint is all about full transparency. Step 1. The DNO identifies and physically verifies the land on the ground to ensure there isn't any dense vegetation or encroachment. Step 2. They compile all that technical and ecological baseline data we just talked about. Step 3. They generate a precise KML file that contains exactly 1 polygon. Step 4. This entire package, including those crucial geotagged photos, gets uploaded to the portal. At Step 5, the clock starts ticking. The State Nodal Officer, the SNO, has exactly 10 days to scrutinize and verify the submission. And finally, Step 6, the administrator approves it and lists it as an available eco-restoration block on the platform, completely ready for an applicant to select.
Moving to our final section, Section 5, Maintenance and Credit Issuance. So the land is registered, it's been selected. Let's explore exactly what happens after your entity funds a parcel and officially begins the eco-restoration process.
This timeline is where the 2025 methodology really shows its teeth. At year 0, the applicant bears the project costs and the hard restoration work begins. You then have to maintain that land for a full 5 years. Once you hit year 5, and assuming you've actually achieved that minimum 40% canopy target, you finally submit a claim and pay a verification fee. From there, a designated agency gets 60 days to physically verify your forest on the ground. Once they submit a positive report, the administrator will issue those hard-earned green credits within 2 months. I know, the bureaucracy might seem super dense at first glance, and yeah, a 5-year commitment is pretty substantial. But honestly, mastering this geospatial methodology and truly understanding the portal's strict rules, that unlocks a vital, verified asset for your company. It ensures your long-term environmental compliance, it satisfies your ESG reporting, and most importantly, it contributes to the genuine restoration of our ecosystems. So the real question is, are you ready to stop looking at degraded land as a liability and start seeing it as your next big asset?
If you found this update helpful, please do us a huge favor and hit the like button. And definitely share this explainer with your fellow entrepreneurs. For more deep dives into the latest environmental regulations and industrial news, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.